I'm going to start this video off with the events in South Africa. Now, the Western media really haven't covered this. The more international platforms here on YouTube have, like Deutsche Welle, France 24, BBC, they have covered it. I was watching a program a little bit ago on from the Deutsche Welle. They had interviewed some of the protesters, some of the people, the more experts in that part of the country, where they were saying that the people were kind of falsely blaming the immigrants for their problems, where the problems were more the result of poor decisions by their political leaders. That's probably the same thing here in the U.S., where a lot of Americans blame the immigrants for their problems, where the problems are probably more the result of our political leaders here, mismanagement, mistakes, and that type of thing. But anyway, yeah, some of these protests, well, the protesters had given these foreigners until today to get out, and apparently a lot of them had. Well, a lot of them have stayed there, and I guess the police are going to go in there and try to protect everybody. For what I saw on the YouTube here, there was quite a number of protests in the streets. So whether the police can handle everybody or not, I don't know. Just have to wait and see, hoping it doesn't plunge into anarchy or into civil war or anything like that. But now I heard some of these, they interviewed some of the locals, and some of them were speaking English, and some of them were speaking what I think is Afrikaans. Now, Afrikaans is a dialect of Dutch. Back in the day, quite a number of the European powers were colonizing, like the Spanish colonized a big chunk of South America. Well, like the U.S. is English, and Canada's English and French. But anyway, Mexico was colonized by Spanish speakers. But in the South Africa, well, actually, I heard two ladies speaking Afrikaans once. I just asked what they were speaking, and I don't know. To me, it didn't really sound like Dutch. So I said I only heard it that one time. I have heard Dutch, and Dutch. If you're Dutch, you can pick up. It's clearly not German, but you can pick up German words. You can also pick up, words that are of English origin. So, but anyway, that's kind of academic. I'm going to kind of delve into the different world languages. Now, a couple of days ago, I said that 2 billion people speak English. Now, that's an estimate. I've heard it from 1.5 to 2 billion people, and it kind of depends upon how good their skills are. So a lot of people, well, like you could take any language and learn about 100 different words, and you're not going to pass as a native. But if you want to visit the country that speaks that language and kind of get along, kind of say, well, where can I go to, where's the local transportation? Where can I find an automatic teller machine? Where can I get a good meal? That type of thing. You can probably learn just enough words to ask people simple questions, or in a restaurant, hey, I need to go use the bathroom. That type of thing. Now, English has become, after the Second World War, a lot of people, the U.S. was not a major superpower until the end of World War II. Then we emerged out of World War II as a superpower. A lot of people wanted to do business with the U.S., so they learned English. Of course, for a period of time, China was a global power. China's China's population has peaked. Their world domination is kind of peaked, and it's kind of downhill. So for a while, people wanted to learn Mandarin, but that's kind of peaked. It's not quite what it was. Like Mandarin is like the second most commonly spoken world language. Now, several languages that are gaining more prominence, especially from their populations over in Africa, like French and Portuguese. Now, Spanish is like the third most common language on the world, just by the total number of speakers, first or second language speakers. I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I know enough to ask a few simple questions here and there. You don't grow up in the Southwestern United States without learning a few words of Spanish, because it's just a commonly spoken language around here, and it's handy to know if you want to talk to people. I said I might try to pick up a word or two in French or Portuguese. Now, Portuguese, you would think would sound like Spanish, but it doesn't. You can't. Well, the same thing with Tagalog. Tagalog is I don't know. It's spoken in the Philippines, and a lot of people that familiar with it say that there's a lot of Spanish in Tagalog, but I don't hear it. I've actually heard people, I've been in line, people speaking Tagalog, and I can't hear any Spanish in it, so I don't know. I don't know how much of a rising language it's got to be, so I'm not sure. Unless I had a reason to learn, I probably wouldn't. I'm just saying, with the rise of these native speakers, that like French or uh, Portuguese might be worth learning a few words. Another one is I'm trying to think of some of the world. It's Hindi. Now the is a culture. The Hindi films were becoming pop. I don't know how big a thing of that is today. For a while, a lot of films were coming out of India that were Hindi films, and it would be just kind of cool to learn a few words of Hindi just to speak them. For me, if the language doesn't use the Western alphabet, I have kind of a problem, picking it up. If it uses the Western alphabet, at least I kind of have a big idea of how to pronounce the word. That's but anyway. Another thing, it's a cool fact that doesn't really have relevance here, but the written form of Ukrainian and Russian is Cyrillic. Now, believe it or not, the guy that invented that, I don't know what was it. It's been quite a number of years ago. There's like a priest or a monk or something that went into Russia or Ukraine and give them their written language. Was a guy named Cyril. A guy named Cyril. They named the written language for Cyril. They call it Cyrillic. That's kind of cool. I don't know why that's relevant. I don't know why I remember it, but I need to shut up here because my phone's got timeout. I need to get out and work on my pickup. I'm lazy. I need to redo that rear seal because it's been a problem. When I slapped that transmission together, I didn't know how well it was going to work, so I just did the front seal. I didn't do the back one because it's easy to get to. I cleaned up the back of the transmission. I need to swap that out. Probably do that this morning. I put that off for about a month, and it's a little bit cooler this morning. In fact, I need several things. I want the video from downtown Phoenix, and if it, I may just haul ass to downtown Phoenix and get like the museum down there, the Zone. There's a bunch of places downtown. I'm gonna let my phone go until the time's out. I'll just say goodbye here. I may get down to downtown Phoenix if nothing comes in, or if something comes in, if a job comes in, I'll take care of it. But I need to get out and work on my pickup this morning. Okay, love you all. Let's keep life interesting and exciting. Bye.